Alright guys, what's going on? Today, last day of 2024, and I'm gonna talk about why leaving Canada could be your biggest mistake. Why trying to live the Canadian dream by leaving Canada could be a mistake you could regret for years. So I picked Canada and the Canadian dream because my last video about Canada did quite well. But this applies to the new American dream as well, which consists of leaving America for a cheaper place. The new French dream, which consists of leaving France for a cheaper place. I'm French, by the way, currently based in France. It applies to the new Down Under dream, Australia, New Zealand, which consists of leaving Australia, New Zealand for a cheaper place. It applies to the UK, to Germany, to the Netherlands, another country I do know well. You know what I'm talking about, you get it. It applies to Westerners who want to live or consider or are leaving their home countries for cheaper countries, okay? Because the cost of living is just getting too high in our Western countries, okay? The skyrocketing price of everything, groceries, power bills, insurances, the insanely high prices of real estate, may it be rent or buying, properties, the very high taxation. You know what I'm talking about because you are most likely from the West. The cost of living is just too high compared to our wages, okay? We are getting only poorer compared to what we earn, okay? Everything is so expensive now and we don't earn thrice, the wages we earned 5 years ago when everything was still quite affordable, or still okay. So now you know what I'm talking about, and you may think, you know what, I have a cost of living problem. I need to leave my country. I need to leave Canada, for instance, because I picked Canada, but could apply it to other Western countries, as I was saying. I'm leaving my home country because I have a cost of living problem. It's just unbearable. I can make it here anymore. I don't have the purchasing power anymore. That's what you may think, okay? But now, you have a money problem. I mean, you have a income problem. That's your big problem. You may think you have a cost of living problem, but you have an income problem. For example, if I tell you living in the US on 50K a year, it seems to be a quite low salary nowadays in the UK, in the US, or even in the UK. But let's pick the US. You may say, yeah, of course, living on 50K a year in the US sucks, okay? You can barely pay your bills. You can barely, put, a roof on your head, put bread on your table. But if I tell you living in the US on $1 million per year, then it becomes a great country with, good hospitals, good infrastructure, nice mansions, nice cars. You can travel a lot. Know what I'm saying? So the problem is not the cost of living of the US, it's your income. It's too low. The same applies to Canada. If I tell you, for example, earning 2 million Canadian per year in Canada, then it becomes a great country because you can afford a big house, you can afford all the cars you want, you can go out, you can eat out, you can travel, you can do everything you want, you can buy property. You're fine in Canada. It's a great country in Canada if you make good money. The same applies to France, for example. If you make, for example, 30K per year in France, it sucks. But if you make 500K per year in France, it becomes a great country because you can afford the safe places and you can basically do everything and get the best of what France has to offer to you because you're making great money. So the problem is not the cost of living, the problem is your income. And what it makes it even worse is that if, for example, you want to leave your country, and I'm in the same boat, I'm not only considering, I'm gonna leave France sooner or later. I have to be here for the time being for family reasons, but I will be leaving sooner or later, okay? Because France has a myriad of problems I don't want to cope with, okay? So I'm in the same boat as you. You want to leave your country, I'm gonna leave my country as well, okay? But, okay, you will leave your country because it's so freaking expensive, It's freaking expensive, too expensive, okay. Great. It's freaking expensive on your Canadian, American, French, German, Australian wage. But there in the other country, how are you gonna make money? How are you gonna make money? Yeah, I understand it's cheaper for you in your eyes because this country is cheaper if you make dollars and a good Western income. Then it's cheaper. Then it's in your eyes, it's an amazing country. Everything is so cheap, it's great here, I can afford everything. It's freedom, yes, because you make maybe 5-10 times the average wage of the country you are about to move to. That's why it feels so free, it feels so amazing, it feels so great, because it's just cheaper for you with your dollars, your euros, your pounds, your Australian dollars. Now what I'm talking about. The problem is, as I was saying, you have an income problem. The problem is not the cost of living, the problem is your income. Because there, if you make money locally, you will have the same problem. Okay? For instance, I've lived in Russia for 11 years. Okay? I have Russian roots. I speak, read Russian fluently. Okay? My wife is Russian. I'm not in Russia at the moment because of the war. I don't agree with this war. I find this war to be stupid. And it's not that safe for half Westerners or Westerners who speak, a lot of languages in Russia anymore at the moment, okay? But long story short, but I know this country. I know what the wages are. So if, for example, you go to Russia, everything seems so cheap because you have your dollar, your euros, and so on, okay? But if you make your money locally, if you're working like an average Russian, it sucks, okay? It's the same as in Canada, America, or France, sometimes even worse, because there you can taste real poverty. At least in America, in Canada, in France, in Germany, yeah, you may struggle. Yeah, you may find difficult to pay everything, but you're not living in poverty. Okay, you still can make money. There is hope. You can make money. You can make money in the US. Okay, you can make money in even in France or in Canada. You can still make money, but in cheap countries, often it's very difficult to make money, but you make more money. Know what I'm saying? So you're only better off in these cheaper countries. So I picked Russia, but I could take for example Thailand. I've lived in Thailand for 2 years. I could talk about Eastern Europe, another place I know quite well because I've worked there, I've traveled there a lot. Okay, it's the same shit. It's cheaper there in your eyes with your American, Canadian, French, German, Dutch, UK, Australian purchasing power. But for the locals, it's the same situation as you are now living in your home country, or even worse, okay? So when I'm saying you have an income problem, it's everywhere. It's not by moving to another country you are gonna solve your cost of living problems. Yeah, your cost of living will get lower, but your income will get lower as well. So it's the same, or sometimes even worse. Sometimes it's you will get into poverty. Look, at a lot of third world countries. Okay, yeah, the cost of living is very cheap there. Yeah, but how much do they make? They make peanuts. So the cost of living is lower, but they are still worse off. So keep that in mind. Your problem now is not cutting costs. Your problem now is to have an income you can take with you abroad. A good income you can make no matter where you go. Or at least have a good plan, a solid plan to be able to make an income which allows you to be in the middle class, upper middle class in that cheap country. Because you don't want to live like a poor person in these third world BRICS or Southeast Asian, Eastern European countries. Okay, you will be worse off, even though everything is cheaper, sometimes even dirt cheap in your eyes with your wallet. It will be worse because the wages follow. And let me tell you, in other countries I've been to, the problem is roughly the same. The prices are getting higher, everything is getting more expensive, and their wages don't follow either. Sometimes they increase a little bit. For example, in Russia, the wages have increased a bit, but it is nothing compared to the insane, increase in cost they've got there as well. For example, let me tell you, in Siberia, real estate has tripled in 5 years. Cars have doubled in 5 years. Food has doubled almost doubled in 5 years. Okay, taxes are getting higher there as well. Slowly, but we are getting there. They're getting higher, you know. Every year there's a new law and so on, okay? But the wages, yeah, they have increased by 20-30%. You know, but when your wage is 300 or 400 euros or 300, 400 bucks per month, what is that? It's nothing, you know, it's peanuts. So I could take another example. I could talk about, for example, Argentina, a country I've never been to, but I'm now looking into Argentina because I do consider maybe Argentina in the future. You know, it's a country which seems very appealing to me. But I'm not naive, you know. I've lived in 7 different countries permanently. I've spent over 30 years outside of my native country. I'm not naive. I'm not a naive expat, you know, with its rose glasses, who thinks everything is perfect outside of my country. No. I know in Argentina the wages suck. I know the economy is shit. At least for now. I hope Milei is getting it better. That's why I'm watching a lot about Argentina and, you know, reading a lot about Argentina. I hope Milei will change, you know, Argentina. We'll see. But you know what I'm saying, you know? There, okay, everything is cheaper, but the local wages are even worse. And when you get into poverty there in Argentina, I have some contacts there, so I do talk with people immigrants into Argentina. They told me when you get into poverty there, you're really poor. You know, it's nothing compared to Western countries. So yeah, take that into consideration. You have now, especially if you want to leave your Canadian, your American, your French country, the UK, Australia, you now have an income problem even more than before, because your current income is not enough to cope with the rising cost of living in your country, and abroad it won't be better, it will be worse, because you still need to have a steady, strong Western income there if you want to enjoy your new life there. Otherwise it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, you know, to leave a country you're struggling in to move to another country you're struggling in. You know what I'm saying? Another thing, don't forget that there, in that other country, you most likely don't master the language, and you don't understand the mentality and the culture. Culture and mentality are 2 different things. Some people mix them up, they are a little bit different. But that's the culture, you know, culture mentality. You don't understand people, how people behave, how people think. You don't understand the local market. So in fact, it will be even more difficult abroad because you don't understand everything. You don't understand how people think, how people behave, how you should do, how the market works. You don't understand the language, you're not well yet. So it will be even more difficult to build a business there, to work there, to make an income there for you as a foreigner, because there you are a foreigner. If the locals are struggling, it will be even more difficult for you if you haven't made a good plan, if you don't have a solid plan, if you haven't, you know, prepared your move abroad for at least months, if not years. You know what I'm saying? So it's not easy as, oh, you know what, America sucks, Canada sucks, France sucks, I can't stand anymore, let's leave, and there everything will be fine. No, you need to prepare. You need to build your plan now. You need to work on your solid plan now in your country, because there it will be even more difficult if you come unplanned. Okay, and if you want to increase your purchasing power abroad, you will need to keep at least the income you are earning now, or otherwise it doesn't make sense. Okay, it doesn't make sense. For example, if you move to France, I'm in France now. I'm French, by the way. France is a little bit cheaper than the UK. No, maybe not to the UK anymore, but cheaper than Canada or America. Okay, it's a little bit cheaper, but the wages are lower here as well. So if you keep your American income, you move to France, you will be better off. But if you work locally, it's the same shit nowadays. Okay, people struggle here as well. They can barely cope with their bills. They can't afford it anymore. Real estate is way too expensive compared to the local wages. Know what I'm talking about? Of course, I wouldn't recommend you to move to France at the moment. It's still the West. It still has a myriad of problems. You'd rather go to Asia, Eastern Europe, South America. I think, these are the places I do consider myself, okay? Because they are cheaper. Not only because they are cheaper, but because they are cheaper, yeah. Okay? My purchasing power will be stronger there. But with a Western income in mind, with a Western income For example, I lived well in Russia for all these years spent in Russia because I had a Western income. I was making euros and I was, on a good Western income. I wasn't on local wages, on Russian wages. Otherwise, I would be poor in the Russian Far East. I lived in the Russian Far East. You can see my videos on this channel, by the way. How did I afford Lancia Evolutions, nice cars, to travel, buy real estate, have a great life there, go out eat every time? Because I had a Western income, a strong Western income. Otherwise, I would be struggling like most Russians there and earning my 25 up to 50k rubles per month, which is roughly 500, 300 up to 500 euros per month. And I would be struggling like any person there. Okay, so keep that in mind. You have a income problem. Think about your income now, not the income, not necessarily the income you will need to increase in your country, but the income you will have to keep and have in that new country to increase your purchasing power. Because if you make money locally, you will struggle or you will be even worse off. Okay, let me tell you. Okay, I'm not on this channel to sell you dreams. I know there are a lot of bullshitters over there, a lot of Westerners talking, yeah, move to this country, this is paradise, basically, blah blah blah, everything is fine, yeah, leave the UK, leave USA, leave France, etc. It sucks nowadays, everything is going on in the BRICS, in Dubai, and so on. It's all bull crap. Okay, there are cons there as well, and if you're not well prepared, you will fail. That's the truth. Okay, I'm not here to be. I don't want to be the channel, who sells dreams. I tell you things like they are and how they should be. Okay. I remind you, I've lived in 7 countries permanently, and I've spent over 30 years outside of my native country. I know what it is like to move to other countries. I know what it is like to adapt. I know what it is to learn languages. Okay. I speak 4 languages fluently. And English is not even my strongest language, okay? My Russian is better than my English. My French is better. My Dutch is better, okay? And I do speak some other languages. No, I'm not here to brag, but just to tell you, I know what it is like to move, to move from a country to another, to rebuild your life there, to find work and so on, to be an international guy, I'm not here to sell you dreams. I tell you how it is, okay? So, yeah, sure. Leave that Western country, which is becoming way too expensive. I'm in the same boat, as I was saying. But plan. Have a solid plan, okay? Try to build an income now. And if you don't have that solid income when moving to that other cheaper country, come with a solid plan. Come with cash. Come with something it will work out. Or it most likely will work out. Have a security net, Don't move now in the blink of an eye saying, oh, the West sucks, I'm gonna go there and everything will be fine. No, okay? It's not the case. It's not the case. People struggle there as well. The problems are roughly the same there as well. But it's an illusion because you, with your Western eyes, you see it with your Western eyes. You don't have lived like a local in the country you are about to move to or you are considering. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, if this was interesting, smash that like button. Share this video. This is an important message, I think, to end 2024. Consider subscribing if you haven't yet. Check the links below in the description. By the way, you can book a one-on-one call with me if you want to move abroad, leave your country and move to another country. I have a lot of experience in this field. If you want to build an online income, know that I've been an online entrepreneur since 2017, so it's almost 8 years now. So when it comes to making money online and so on, I know what it is like. I know what I'm talking about. I've done it in multiple languages. So yeah, don't hesitate to book a one-on-one call with me. And yeah, leave your comment below. What do you guys think? Okay. That's all for now. This was the last video of 2024. And I see you next time in 2025. Take care. And yeah, enjoy this last day with your family, and don't eat too much sugar. Bye for now.